Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Where today we're playing Life of a Wizard. I played this game before and I have no idea how to what to fully expect because I haven't played in a while. But I know you can be good, evil and all that. But the question is how this game works. Okay, which is from the kindly old white bearded castles, wearing robes with stars and moons, to the battle hardened. One mage throw fireballs at dragons. The royal family has always had one on hand, a wise driven to lead the kingdom into peace or a dangerous conjure to dominate all the land under one rule. Or perhaps a divine healer, alchemist, or even a necromancer. The combinations are boundless. Let me tell you a story. I wasn't always a wizard. Hi. I wasn't always a resigned old wizard. You know, wizards begin their lives the same as everyone else. I was born in a small village in the kingdom of Daria, King Norbert, and Queen Audrey resign. No, Reingend in the sea capital of Tornaza, which was many miles away from my small village. I remember the day I was born, or should I say my good parents were good or bad? I gotta say good. I was a boy, and then I grew up in the village of Mval. Did you say it was something else? Where nearly everyone was human, although a few expectation the entire kingdom of Dala was like that. Besides, the dwarves under the Grey Mountains in Els was the older Heart Forest, and the orcs in the wilderness to the west. Our kingdom was a radically tolerant when I was young. Parents and I was human. I was getting comfortable to be the same as everyone else. The royal family was human for a reason. We were generally capable with more races than other made alliance quickly. Has 20 kingdom faction and democracy. My parents weren't poor, as we all seemed to have what we needed when I was growing up. They always made sure I had nice clothes and good shoes. During the holidays, they would seem to find enough coin to buy me a special toy and have a big meal. I still remember my mother's soft voice when she sung me to sleep and my father calm strength where I woke in the night from a bad dream. Even though I was a young child, I was drawn into the unknown and remember my first magical experience even though I was only 5 years old. I didn't know where my parents were, but I wandered off alone. I'm going to say temple. It was a large, structured, and completely empty that day. I walked right in front of the altar, bold as brace eyes, saw the candles spread out, and smelled the aurora of intense burning in small casseroles nearby. I prayed to the good gods in my own shoulder, say, or pray to the evil. Let's go good for now. After I it seemed like the room glowed bright. I didn't know if the ghost truly heard me or not, but I certainly felt like I have drawn the attention of some driven being that day. Religion 10, good plus 1, and willpower 2. At the age of 7, I made a friend. Childhood friends are special since they remind a part of you rest of your life, even though you grown apart. My best, sorry, I can, so boy, his name was. Should I do one of my real life friends or? Oh, the. um. Oh, what name should I use? um. I'm just gonna go with Matt. Matt was. I'm gonna say elf. We got along really well, even though I was human and Matt was an elf. I learned about a lot about his culture. Elf action plus 10. We spent a lot of time together. Prince Girth to here to the royal family. I was 17 at the time. His younger sister, Princess Emily, who was 2 years younger. I sometimes pretended that I was Prince Grathan, and Matt and I often played at being royal, among other games. We were nearly inseparable. We played imaginary games of forest. Max was a bad influence, good influence. I guess go say good influence. We didn't get into very much trouble. We were good kids, always polite to our elders and nice to strangers. Hmm? There was a bully in my village who a few years older than me. Yes, even I had this kind of trouble when I was young. He terrorized my childhood. Ted. Ted was a dwarf. Uh, I know that I shouldn't stereotype old drills because of how Ted behaved, but I couldn't help myself. I remember the first day Ted started picking on me. Um, I, I just go try reason with him. That game was good. I was attracted to girls. Yeah, I'm gonna say. Oh, what would be a good name? I don't like the names that they give you. Hmm, what should the name be? Um, this is one of the games where it doesn't really give you that option. Oh, I guess I'll go Cynthia. Sorry, that took me a while. I could say Cynthia was human. My parents were happy that I had a crush on a human like me. We'd done everything. We'd done everything together. Cynthia and I. It started as a friendship, but years went on, and our feelings betrayed into love. I experienced new emotions that I couldn't describe. I did everything I could just to be in her presence, like her parents. And after that, you know what? I already chose Temple the first time. Let's go again. Temple. I got religion. I listened to her parents' ceremonies, and I think I learned some things. Cynthia was the first love. I still remember how her soft lips were when I kissed them for the first time. I never forget those wonderful days. Uh, Life in Elville, Elmaville was pleasant, and it was a beautiful place to grow up. There was a sprinkler river that ran through the center of it and farms all around us. We had all of amenities of a small town as well. I spent most of my time with Matt and be, my best friend. My nights were filled about dreaming about Cynthia. Like what the hell? I just gotta keep saying Temple because I don't know. Oh, I got good. My charitable nature is starting to show. I want to help those less fortunate than myself. The priests of the temple were very happy with my volunteering, and I learned many things. 1 good, 10 kingdom faction, 10 religion, 10 healing, 3 real power, but lost 3 body. Wait, whoa. Yep, stats, body. Um, I remember one day we found a little puppy in the back alley. It looked so silently, which made me think it didn't belong to anyone. It was very dirty and had a broken leg. I nursed it back to health. I fed it, keep it clean, and it was a strong little dog. Even until years when tragedy struck, rumors of trouble had been built for weeks, but as a kid I never paid any attention to one day I saw the streets filled with smoke. At first, I thought it was the great dragon Paraxness bringing fire upon my small village. That wasn't the case. Soon, I learned we were raided by. mm, I learned the raids were setting fire to the house and stores. A small village were being attacked by dwarves. I wondered where King Norbert and why his soldiers mm, weren't there to protect us. Later, I learned that most of the had been attacked that year. The king really had his hands full. The only thing I could think of, um, attended the wounded, healing 10, kin faction 10, religion 5, and good 1. There was so many dead villagers. It made me wonder if our village was going to survive. I held bandaged wound and sewed cuts that had been made for cruel dwarf swords. The dwarf raids were ruthless, many people were killed, and several people buildings burned down. My parents were killed. Oh, I gotta do the Batman thing. My parents were killed. I was devastated. They were killed trying to save the group of children who had been out playing in the nearby field. The children made it back safely, but my parents were dead. They had been the center of my life. It didn't go unnoticed to me that Ted, the bully, was a dwarf like the attackers. It was just a mean split through, as Ted had nothing to do with the raid. I attacked, charge everything, putting out end to my carefree days as a child. I would likely had a few more years of funny innocence, but after the attack, I had become an adult. I moved into Temple's orphanage. Um, with my parents going to have no return, the orphanage was run by local prisoners. They were kind-hearted people. I became a devoted priest. I read the scriptures and studied the tens. I also learned about history and geography as I performed my duties as a priest. Prayed my life to the good gods. I secretly pledge my life to I gotta say good gods. Yeah, 5 good, 35 gold, 30 history and 7 willpower. I promise I will help the weak, heal the sick, and promote values of good gods to the world. Sophia was great cover. I also lost my parents. Um, nature and body. What is body? Am I like losing body parts or something? Like, guy, you need to tell me what body is. Um, Alright, I have an inventory. I just love nature and all the beautiful trees and animals. Were a pleasure to look at it, but it was just nice to just spend time with a company. When I was 14, wait, how do you become a understand? When I was 14, Ted the boy and some of his friends conjured my come to me in LA, and I thought I had that I was a priest 3 times thing when it happened. Ted didn't see that anyway. That dog came back. Um, they had called me. Then when suddenly the dog dove over my shoulder and landed right onto Ted, digging his teeth into his arm, while Ted screamed in pain and surprise. The dog let go after a few minutes, and Ted and the other boys ran away. I knew at that moment I could of a special bond with this wonderful animal. Did I find one? No, I didn't get the dog. I wonder whether whatever happened to that old mutt. You're probably wondering when my magical train began. I become a mighty wizard after all, yet so far my story has been about my childhood. I was 15 years old when I left my job as a priest. I was going through my parents' belongings. Um, they had been dead for 3 years, and I found an old chest. There was a mysterious amulet next in it. Next to the amulet, there was a letter from my parents. It says that my parents had been wizards, and the amulet had belonged to my grandfather. They were going to give it to me when I got older. They wanted me to go to the Wizard Alchemy, Wizard Alchem Academy to learn magic. I took the amulet and decided to follow my parents' request. Cynthia was sad to hear that I was leaving. We promised to remain true. Seven promised to wait for me. Yep. Wait, what was the last one? I just clicked next without reading it. Um. Ah. um. It was no. We'll never forget. It was a magical in a way that I sure never seen the see out the academy. I knew I needed a horse to get to academy. It was in the royal city of Turizna, many miles away. I chose to borrow money because I didn't have it. Blaze, yeah. I had a nice little party before I left. We had it in the newly rebuilt Trevon since the old one had been burnt down during the dwarf raid. I think if you put it together, we drank a lot and Matt got really drunk. I like to think that my parents would have been proud of me. I gave up the life of a priest and left for the academy next day. The trip the trip to tourism went well. I spent the first day as a tourist just seeing the sights. King Norbert and Queen Adruri Castle was impressive. I stayed up to the towers hoping to catch a glimpse of Prince Garth Garthrieth, who was now 25, or Prince Emily, who was 2 years younger. I didn't see a royalty that day. The next morning, I went to the academy. This was where all of the great mage has learned their skills, including the royal advisor, Validen. The academy was financed by the Mage Guide, which has been nice since meant I didn't have to pay anything. I stood at the entrance to the academy, uncertain as to how to proceed. Why have you come? The voice come from a little old man sitting on the rug next to the doors leading into the academy. He was very small, and his bald head made him seem vulnerable. Who are you? I asked. I am Master Drugan, the doorkeeper to the academy. Why have you come? I told him to learn magic. Um, I told him I want to learn magic in addition to the divine magic. To the divine magic, I knew as a priest. Um, he smiled at me, obviously finding my answer interesting. Not many people try to mix arcane and divine magic, but I commend your goal. He then lended me to the testing chamber, religion 10, healing 10, necromancy 10, and willpower 10. Alright, no. Religion 10, healing 10, necromancy 10, and willpower 5. Marston Judgment has his hands on his head. After a few moments, he nodded his bald head in approval. Yes, the spark within you. Welcome to the academy. I was given a room in the academy which included a bed, a desk, and a chair. It was very sparses, but it was my own. I also was given a schedule of classes. My training as a wizard has begun. Although I learned things out the academy, my favorite class was I'm going to say summoning. Summoning animals, demons, elements, and other things. Summoners are never alone. They can summon servants to do the work for them. Yeah, I was pretty good at it. I was on the road to becoming a summoner. My classes went well. I began to learn the arcane arts. There was a lot of work reading ancient totems and trying to force my mystical engineers as I wish. I learned a little bit of everything that was taught during my time at Academy. Arcade 10, Alchemy 10, Contradiction 10, Divine 10, Enchantment, Illusion, Summoning, and Transmission Whistle 10. I'm a student. I'm a friend. He was also a student. Um, the funny thing is, I know at least one. I know everyone who has these exact names. Let's go Dominic. Dom was human. It wasn't too much a surprise that I made friends with a human since I kind of often stuck together. It was in transmutation class. We got talking about talking, and turned out that his big passion was sword fighting. Dominic knew a lot of styles and moves. Some of the other students found it funny that Dominic continued his holidays at the academy, even though it seemed very unwizly. I took into sparring a few times, although I usually lost. This practice did make me get better over time. Body and fighting. My summoning classes were interesting. We learned to create protective circles and bring forth all the kinds of animals, demons, and elements varied from planes. It was important to maintain control of the creatures that were summoned. I had a really difficult summoning assignment during my first year. It was easy for me and I was quite good at it. Demonology wasn't considered evil, it was a good purpose. I summoned an imp for a lower plane. My teacher was very proud knowing that it takes a lot of willpower to control such beings. I felt I had power to make that imp my own. No, I didn't keep an imp. um, with I unsummoned it and sent it back where it came from. Dominic and I spent a lot of time together. It was nice to have a friend open. We for pranks, we studied a lot. I think this will give me with all the children in the school family. I think if I go to magic skill and knowledge, my healing's really high. Yeah, there were many children at the schools. Forms also amazing. How many broken noses occurred from illusion who were tricked by their own illusions and ended up into the walls. One of the new subjects we had to study at the academy was arcane. It included everything from theory of magic artifacts. We learned about nature of reality and how mystical energies were enabled to charge the Fabric from assistant. Um, I done that, I guess. Anyway, I gotta leave the first video here. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.